Hello, welcome to Gospel Faith Television UK. My name is Pastor Jimba Alex, and today's topic is the flood. So, in the biblical days, the Old Testament, there was a man called Noah, and God told Noah to build an ark because a serious flood that was going to wipe out the world was on its way. And that's why the topic for today is the flood. So before I go into the topic, the flood itself, I'd like to give a definition of what a flood really means. And a flood is a great outpouring of water onto a dry land from a low level to a high level, to a high tide, and submerging the whole land. I'll give you that definition again. Let me explain that definition. The definition of a flood means a great outpouring. So that means God opened the heavens and the skies. Only God can do that. I don't know any man that can wake up in the morning and say, okay, you know what, today I'm going to go and open up the whole clouds and the whole skies. No man can do that. Only God can do that. So God opened the whole clouds and the whole skies and the whole heavens, and there was an outpour of some serious water onto dry land. So water kept on coming out of heaven. Water kept on coming out. Water, an outpour all over the world. Wow. Onto dry land. And when the water was outpouring out of heaven, it started from a very low level on the land, like feet high. And it kept on growing. It kept on growing. It kept on growing over the weeks, over the years, over the months. The water, oh God. Oh. Man was drowning. And it became like a high tide. So through this flood, God was showing that man doesn't even have no power. So imagine if it was to rain in England or Nigeria or Ghana for 15 weeks non-stop. There would be no human beings left. But this flood, because God was angry with the world, this flood kept on the water kept on outpouring out of heaven for years. Oh God. Oh God. That means Mount Everest became too small. It swallowed that Mount Everest and it kept on going. Mount Sinai became too small. The Shard became too small because water kept on coming out of heaven for years and years. Oh, man was like flies. Man drowned. Man was like flies on top of the water. Anyway, and this led to a world destruction. So the topic for today is the flood, and I'm trying to say to you, don't play with God, because God is majestic and God is the Most High, and God can destroy this world whenever He feels like it. Why? Because He's the one that created the world. I mean, you're a viewer or you're a listener, and you're watching Gospel Faith Television UK. You got the right to say, okay, I don't want to watch this video no more. I want to go make a cup of tea. That's your choice. You got the right to say, I don't want to call that woman today. Maybe I'll call her tomorrow. That's your choice. You got the right to say, I don't want to go to that school anymore. I want to change schools because they give me a problem. That's your choice. Well, God is the only one that has got the choice to destroy this world whenever He feels like it. And that's what the flood is all about. Because He told Noah. He said to Noah, build me an ark. A massive ark. An ark is a biblical term for a ship. So you know, like you sail from Australia to Ghana on a ship. It maybe goes past the Pacific Ocean, it goes past the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, but you're inside a ship. But in those days, it wasn't called a ship, it was called an ark. And the reason why God said to Noah, build me an ark, because an ark is more than a ship. An ark was there to save lives. A ship is not there to save lives. An ark was there to save lives. So God used the flood to destroy the whole world. And when I say God used the flood to destroy the whole world, this is the power of God at work. So when I say this is the power of God at work, this is not like Larry Holmes, the heavyweight boxer, punching Leon Spinks, and he falls to the floor. And they say, hey, Larry Holmes is a strong man, you know, that's the power of Larry Holmes. No. Or this is not like Lennox Lewis punching someone and the person falls to the floor. They say Lennox Lewis is one of the best heavyweights in the world. He does that. No. The power of God is different. You think God needs to punch you and start doing this in heaven and say, yeah, I'm God? That's not the kind of power I'm talking about. And God doing this to the angel, saying, yeah, I'm strong, you know, look, I punched that man. He punched the angel, he's doing this, and I'm God. No. God used the flood to destroy the whole world. That's the power of God. And God wasn't doing this in heaven, saying, yeah, look, I'm strong. Look, I punched the angel, he's on the floor. No. God has got the power to destroy the world in less than a day or a minute. Not only was the flood a display of the power of God, the flood was a display of the immense power of God. There's a difference between the power of God and the immense power of God. I'll tell you what the immense power of God means. The immense power of God means that the power of God is supernatural. It means that the power of God is supernatural. Because number one, how did God create the water in the first place? Number two, how did the whole heavens open? Number three, how did he demolish the whole world? This is the immense power of God. I'm someone's calling me right now about this. I'm on Gospel Television UK. I can't answer this call right now. I'm speaking to the whole world. So yeah. So this is the immense. Stop it. I'm speaking to the whole world right now. Yeah, people are watching me in Australia and China and what's it called again, Dubai, and what's it called again, and Australia and Jamaica. And you want me to pick up the call? I can't pick up the call right now. I'm talking about the immense power of God. That's what I'm talking about right now. The immense power of God. So listen to this here. And God was warning mankind. Yeah, you might send me a text. I'm not going to pick up the phone. Send me a text. So God was warning mankind. And God, through Noah, was telling the whole world, change your ways. Repent. Because my power is immense. Not my power. God's power is immense. He kept on saying to Noah, warn mankind. Something is coming that they don't know about. And this is proof that when you listen to God, it doesn't matter how agitated God gets or how angry God gets, God can change his mind also. Yeah. How do I know this here? Because God has created man in his own image. So sometimes you get angry and you want to do something and someone might calm you down and you say, okay, you know, I'm not going to do it anymore. Maybe you want to go and steal from that shop. You say, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. Maybe you want to go and beat up that child. You say, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. You change your mind. So if God has created us in his own image, God can change his mind also. And this is the reason why God was warning mankind through Noah. Because he was willing to change his mind. God was warning mankind. He said to Noah, go and tell them to change their ways because they don't know what's about to hit them. They should repent. Here comes the serious part. You know, before God sent that flood to the world here, I want you to understand that God has got feelings and God has got emotions as well. So God doesn't wake up one morning and say, okay, no, I'm going to destroy the whole world. It tells me that God had the idea. He had the idea of the flood in his mind for a very long time. In English language, the word there is called contemplation. To contemplate means to think things over. Yeah, so God had the mind and power of contemplation. He had the idea in his mind of the flood for a very long time. And that's what makes him a merciful God. But when God looked, and he looked, and he looked, and he saw that mankind was not going to change his ways, because he kept on warning Moses. He said, Moses, tell them. When God looked, and he looked, and he looked, and he saw that mankind is not going to change his ways. Man is becoming gay, holding hands, there's killing everywhere, there's stealing everywhere, children are being disrespectful to their parents, women are turning lesbians, sucking each other's breasts, there's blasphemy all over the place. God said, no. I don't recognize the world that I created myself. He said, Noah, go and tell them to stop what they're doing. So God had the idea of the flood in his mind for a very long time. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that you don't even know about. Because I'm Pastor Jimbo Alex, you understand me? And it's God that made me Pastor Jimbo Alex. And I have intelligence of the highest order. So listen to this one that's coming now. When I say to you that God had the idea of the flood in his mind for a long time, you might want to disagree with me. And you know, if you want to disagree with me, I want to prove you wrong right now. Okay, when I say God had the idea of the flood in his mind to destroy this world for a very long time, God could have changed his mind and said, okay, you know what, I'm not going to destroy this world with a flood. I'm going to destroy this world with fire. You can do that. So I'm showing you the capabilities of God. You can't limit God just to one thing. So when I say that God had this idea in his mind, yeah, maybe God thought to himself, yeah, I can burn the whole world with fire. Who's going to stop him? No one's going to stop him. But that's what I'm saying. It came down to the contemplation, and God decided. He had different choices, and God said, no, you know what, let me do it with a flood. So we're dealing with the Most High God, and God can still destroy this world with different weapons that he possesses in his artillery. And that's what I'm talking to you about. So God told Noah, build me an ark. And God said to Noah, not only do you have to build him an ark, God said to Noah, build him an ark and protect yourself, Noah, because you're important to me. You're a righteous man in the world. God said to Noah, build the ark and make sure you're protected yourself. Make sure your family, your immediate family are protected as well. And make sure that every righteous thing in this world is protected. I don't think you heard me clearly. God said to Noah, build me an ark. Don't build me an ark for fun. He said to Noah, build me an ark and make sure you protect yourself, Noah, because you're my friend. And the reason why you're my friend, Noah, is because you're a righteous man as well. So he said to Noah, build me an ark and not only protect yourself in that ark, go into the ark yourself, don't only protect yourself in that ark, but protect your family also. That's your wife and your children and every righteous thing. Anything unrighteous couldn't come into that ark. And then suddenly, after Noah was building the ark for a very long time, and people were saying, look at Noah, this useless black man. Look at what he's doing. They were laughing at him. Because the ark was getting higher and higher. And people kept on saying, look at Noah. This man don't have anything better to do with his life. They say Noah could have got a job in Obo Hill Market and start selling corn and coconuts there. It would be better. And Noah kept on building the ark, and because Noah was hearing the voice of God. Noah turned a blind eye. They were laughing at Noah. They said, look at useless Noah, this useless black man with afro hair. He used the term ark. They laughed at Noah to scorn. They laughed at Noah. But you know what? The ark was getting higher. After 6 months, Noah was building the ark. Noah was on the 7th floor of the ark. He's still knocking. Yeah, with the hammer. Bog, 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 bog. Bog, bog. The nails are going bog, 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 bog. He's only wearing shorts, and he's got a pencil. He's got a pencil. Noah's got a pencil in his ear because he was like a carpenter, and he's building the ark. Bog, 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 and he's high in the air. People were looking at Noah, saying, "This man's crazy." You know, this and that. But suddenly, the flood came. Yeah, suddenly the flood came. And suddenly, the oceans and the rivers had no more boundaries. Right. So what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, you know, like man was rebellious against God. And man was doing all this gay business, all these women were doing all this lesbian business. They were stealing and murdering and wars. And the world was a cold place. So much evil and unrighteousness. They were being rebellious to God. So suddenly, when the flood came, the oceans and the seas and the rivers had no more boundary. Right. So the oceans and the seas and the rivers here became rebellious towards mankind. You see that? There's a change now. You see, man started getting scared. Man started getting scared. But man forgot when he was rebellious to God as well. So maybe God came through the oceans as well. He owns the oceans, doesn't he? He came through the seas, he came through the rivers. So you know what? There's always a demarcation between land and sea and the river and ocean. No, the ocean said, no, this time. They broke the barriers. No, the ocean's coming now towards man. You see that? Man's getting scared now. Man is getting scared now. The oceans and the seas went wild. No, the oceans don't want to know no more. Yeah, think about this, yeah? The oceans were normally calm, yeah? Suddenly, when the flood came, the oceans don't want to know no more. Yeah, man is scared now. You see that? The oceans are coming now. Yeah, please don't let me do that Lazarus movement again, you know. The oceans are coming now.
Men's not hot.
The oceans are coming now. You see that?
Harlem Shake.
Man's not hot. So the oceans are coming now. There was non-stop rain coming out of heaven for years. Man's drowned long time ago. Man is looking like flies. But not only that, yeah, every human creation was dead on earth, yeah, but the rain was non-stop and it kept on coming out of the heavens for years. Okay, let's call that part one. Thank you. Let's call that part one.